In this video, we're going to tell you which Armstrong wing you might want to buy. It depends on who you are, how big you are, what it is that you want to do. Do you want a wakefoil? Do you want a prone surf foil to be winging? Do you want to be kiting? Here's the guidance that we have for you. We'll keep it short and sweet. Any foil that you want, anything you want from Armstrong, we sell at Half-Life. We'll set you up. As a Half-Life member, we'll take good care of you. Now, if you want to get into wake foiling behind the boat, Armstrong is the Cadillac of choices. It's more expensive than some of the other options that you might want to do, so you want to make sure you buy the right thing. We can say with confidence, if you're going behind the boat and you're going to have typically a decent wake surf wave behind your boat that you're now going to use for wake foiling, the Armstrong 1550 is a great all-around option. That's a meat and potato. That kit is the kit that you want to get. If you want to be flying higher and moving more quickly on a smaller wave, the 1850 is unbelievable. You can see all kinds of our videos in terms of gliding. Look at our Instagram account at halflifet.5. Check out when we're stealing waves. Most of the time we're doing that on the 1850. It's a pumping machine, it's a wave catching machine, it's unbelievable. So wake foiling, the place to start is the 1550 with an 1850 backup. And then if you want something that's a little bit faster and shorter, go with the short fuse and the CF 1200. Those three foils for behind the boat, we can recommend without a doubt. That's the place to get started. Johnny, tell us about prone surf foiling.
Prone surf foiling. Well, for the prone foiling, I would recommend something a little similar. The 1550 is a great go-to foil. All around, small waves, I would say shoulder high, you're gonna have a great time on the 1550. It's a good all-around foil, works great in the surf, and also pumps really well. So that's what I would say. Now, as if you're an advanced surfer and you're somebody that's really progressing through your surf foiling, you like to carve, cut, do that, then I would say the 1050 or the newer one that will be coming out, the HS 1250 would be a good surf wing. That's more high aspect, but the 1050, most of my buddies out in Maui, they love the 1050, but they're also, they're riding foils like a shortboarder, so they like cutting, getting in the most critical spots on the wave, and the 1050 is a real good go-to. So
those guys are advanced prone foil surfers, right? So if you're just getting into it, probably something like the 1550.
1550 is a great option, has plenty of lift. If you're, typically going out in smaller waves, that's going to be a great option.
Okay.
If, when it comes to mast length and fuselage, I would say mast length 72 is good all around, depending on where you're at. They make a shorter one if you're typically surfing shallow reefs or shallow areas, but the 72 is a real good all around. If you're someone that wants to connect waves, pump a lot, the 72 is kind of right. It's right in the sweet spot for easy pumping.
Okay. So we have some waves coming here, John. We'll rock with them. So the 72 is kind of your general one. The shorter, they have two shorter ones. One's a 60, and then one goes even shorter than that. The one that goes shorter than that is really for instruction and learning how. So
we've had a breach.
Okay, so 72 for surfing, you might want to look at that 60. For behind the boat, 72 is a great all-rounder. It's, I think that again. So if you're prone and you're behind the boat, that's 72. 1550 meat and potatoes. 1050 as you go faster on the surfing. Now let's talk a little bit about winging. So in winging, you want to have
Tim, we forgot.
What?
Well, we told him about the front wing. The one that everyone talks about.
The back wing. There is a back wing on this. Behind the boat, the 232 stab is fantastic. If you're a bigger guy and you think you're going to need a little bit more glide, think about the universal fin. The rear stabilizer 300 gives you a little bit more room to pump off of, gives you a little bit more stability.
I'd agree with that. Same difference in the surf. Most of the guys, what I've found, guys in the surf, once they figure out how to ride waves on the foil, they're progressing pretty quickly through their gear. typically what they're trying to do is loosen up the foil. And so everyone ends up on the Armstrong gear with the 232 stab, the smaller tail wing. And then even with that, they're chopping it down and they're making that foil even looser.
Okay, and the interesting thing about Armstrong in that 232, they call it the chop shop. You know, on the back of it has a cut line, and when you take that cut line off, you're just taking off some of the stability and of the wings that are shaped like this, and that's just going to allow you to cut a little bit more sharply in the water. When we shift and talk about winging, from a winging perspective, you know, we're at the front end in terms of learning about winging, and so our knowledge base will continue to grow. But we've been out winging on the 1850 in light wind, and this thing is a monster. If you get that thing up on foil with a little bit of light wind, you're off to the races. The nice thing is it's a fast wing, it carries speed really well. Because it pumps well, that's going to allow you to go ahead and pump that board to stay up during the lulls. You know, we've been winging here on Lake Washington. The wind is very spotty in terms of you'll hit a gust, you'll hit a lull. And so having a ton of carry in that 1850 has really helped us. I've felt that stability once you're up, once you know how to ride this, it is an intermediate to advanced wing, and so you want to get your feet wet behind the boat if you have the opportunity. If not, you'll enjoy it. It tends a little bit more towards a high aspect wing, but it has surf in it. So when you get up and going, it has the speed, but it's still really fun and turns really nicely. So winging, that's a great option. For windsurf foiling, if we were looking at slingshot, a lot of the windsurf foilers are around the 76 and on the 84. I've windsurf foiled on the 84. It works great in terms of coming up. The comparable here in the Armstrong family is the 1550. The 1550 is a great meat and potatoes place to start from a windsurf foil. And so there, if you look between, you know, that the 1550 will also work well for the wing. And so when you look at the all-around foil kit that keeps coming up, whether you're talking prone, windsurf, wing, or behind the boat, 1550 is a great place to start. As you get into windsurf and winging, you want to extend that mast. And so, you know, the recommendation is to move up from the 72 to the 85. If you want to go longer than that, you certainly can. There's also a 90 that offers a tuttle option. That's when the foil goes through the board, and a 100 centimeter that gets for the advanced foilers. From a kite perspective, 625 is a great place to go. As you go kiting, you're going to go a little bit smaller. In terms of the 625 and the 1050 come together to form a nice combination there for kite foiling. Johnny, anything to add to that?
I would add they're all great foils.
Yeah.
I still hold by my theory. I've never ridden a bad foil, and I've ridden some mediocre foils, but they're all a lot of fun to ride.
There's no bad foils, there's only bad foil riders. I'm just
right.
kidding.
But,
There's no bad riders. It's all fun.
Yeah, the Armstrong gear's great. And as Tim said, probably, you know, if you're a boat guy, you're spending a lot of time wanting to foil behind the boat, the 1550 package would be a great setup. So that's 1550, 72-inch mast, 60 centimeter fuse, and 232 tail wing. You can't go wrong. And you know, that in the foiler's quiver is just a good anchor point, because you can pretty much apply that to all those disciplines.
Yeah, exactly right. And off that base kit, you can go with a shorter fuse if you want to get a little bit more twitchiness. You've seen that in our reviews around the 1200, you know, where we drop that down to the 50 fuse, as well as our 1550 review. And so it's a nice versatile place to start. But regardless, most likely if you're looking at Armstrong, this is going to be your second foil package. You may have graduated up to it. It's okay if it's your first. You're going to be really happy with it. What we believe is that this foil kit, whether you go around the 1550 or if you do like the 1850 kit, you're going to have all the building pieces that you want to be able to expand into other foil sports, or just be really, really happy in the one that you're in. So hopefully this video was useful to you. We actually sell the foil kits. We'd love it if you would buy from us. We're there for you, and you can give us a call and we'll talk you through everything that we just talked about specific to you. So please buy from us. Our website is right there in the link, and give us a call, shoot us an email. We'll spend whatever time we need to with you. And oh, by the way, Johnny, people buy from us. We have a special offer.
Oh yeah.
A special offer. It sounds like an infomercial. It's not an infomercial, it's just a special offer because we're psyched. We just passed 1,000 subscribers. We're fired up. Here's the offer. Normally, we offer wakefoil lessons anywhere in the world for $50. That's a virtual lesson where you send in a video. John and I will look at it and we'll get on a Zoom call with you and talk you through any challenges you might be having. So if you're having any problems dropping the rope, doing wave transfers, just getting up, we've taught a bunch of people, so we have a lot of tips. We charge $50 per half hour. If you buy an Armstrong foil for us, we're gonna throw that in for free.
Hey, I think that's good
You
value.
ready for that, Johnny?
I'm more than ready. I think we have a pretty reasonable knowledge base to draw from.
Yeah.
But the reality too is if it's something super technical, I'm sure we can find the answer. We have a lot of friends that are doing surfing, winging, kiting at very high levels. So it's pretty easy for us to get some great analysis for you and help you in the progression.
Yeah, exactly right. So if we don't know the answer for the discipline that you're doing, we will find somebody who does. You'll be happy with that outcome. We hope that we just want you to be super stoked. We want you to love this sport as much as we do and get out there and just absolutely enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching this video. We'll be back soon with more content. Get out there, get a foil, get behind a boat, under a kite, under a wing, on a windsurf board, paddle into waves. Do whatever the heck it is that you want to do because you're gonna love it.
Have a wonderful day. Stay safe.
Stay safe.
And love one another.
Love one another, America, and the rest of the world. We'll see you later.